Namaskar, revered Swamis, devotees, and friends. We welcome you all today to this very special spiritual retreat organized by the Vedanta Society, Berkeley. This year, due to COVID-19 global health pandemic, we are hosting the event virtually on YouTube. 4th of July, as we all know, marks the American Independence Day. This date is also very auspicious for us devotees because the day held a special significance for Swami Vivekananda himself. Swamiji spent 4 years in this country, and since he was here in July each year, he celebrated the holiday with his companions and friends. But more notably, on July 4th, 1898, when he was in Kashmir 4 years before his Mahasamadhi, Swamiji insisted on observing and celebrating the American Independence Day. He had taken some of his close American and British disciples, including Sister Nivedita, Josephine McLeod, Mrs. Patterson, and Mrs. Ole Bull, to live on a houseboat on the gorgeous Dal Lake in the valley of Kashmir. On that day, Swamiji appeared before his disciples at the early morning breakfast and loudly read out a poem that he had composed for the occasion, titled To the 4th of July. He also marked the occasion by unfurling the American flag, a flag that he had earlier, very secretly, instructed an unskilled tailor to make. The poem is a heartfelt expression of a prophet, a great and reverential man. The poem starts at dawn when it was composed, and with the victory of day over night, light over dark, and goes on in that victorious vein. But it is not the victory in a battle, but the victory, the triumph of ideas. So we observe this 4th of July holiday by celebrating Swami Vivekananda's victorious life and message at this special retreat. Please note that the morning session will end at 1 p.m. We will break for 2 hours for lunch and restart at 3 p.m. We'll begin today's retreat with traditional Vedic chanting by the Swamis.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaः Bhadram Pashyemakshviryajatraः Sthirairangaisthuštuvagam sastanubhiः Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu Shasti na indro vriddhashavaha Shasti na pusha vishvavedaha Shasti nastarsho arishtademihi Shasti no brihaspatir dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Madhuvakaritayate Madhuksharanti Sindhavaha Madhvirna Santoshadhi Madhunaktam Mudoshasi Madhumat Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Oh, may the Supreme Spirit protect us. May the Supreme Spirit nourish us. May we work together with great energy. May our study be vigorous and fruitful. May love and harmony dwell amongst us. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. Oh, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om, may we hear with our ears what is auspicious. May we see with our eyes what is auspicious. May we sing praises of the creation and enjoy with strong limbs and body the life allotted to us. May all the divine forces be auspicious to us. All peace, 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 peace be unto all. Sweet blow the winds, and oceans give forth blessedness. May the herbs and plants bring us health and happiness. Sweet unto us be the nights and the dawns. May every particle of Mother Earth be charged with blessing. May the heavens shower us with benediction. Sweet unto us be the noble forest trees. Sweet unto us be the shining sun. Sweet unto us be all living creation. Om, sweetness, harmony, peace. All that is invisible is verily the infinite spirit. All that is visible is also the infinite spirit. The whole universe has come out of the infinite spirit. The Supreme Spirit is infinite, although the whole universe has come out of it. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all.
I request Swami Prasannatmananda, the minister in charge of the Vedanta Society, Berkeley, to offer his opening address.
I welcome you all to this online spiritual retreat of the Vedanta Society, Berkeley, on this Independence Day. Every year, we hold a day-long spiritual retreat on this day of 4th of July. At this holy sanctuary of the society, but this year is very exceptional. We had two options open before us this year. One is to cancel the 4th of July retreat, and the other is to hold it online. By the help, cooperation, and encouragement of our devotees, well-wishers, and the Swamis, we opted for the second one. Sumita ji and Alokparna sang from their home. Prasanna ji did her announcements from home. Ruhi did her recitation from home. And all the Swamis have sent their video lectures from their respective centers. It means everything was done from home. And finally, our tech team headed by Mukesh did the synchronization. This is not a professional production, and I hope you will watch it with that perception. We are happy to conduct this spiritual retreat every year on 4th of July, because I strongly believe that 4th of July is marked as the day of freedom. Swami Vivekananda himself visualized the liberation for all, Sarva Mukti, and he connected 4th of July, the Independence Day of the United States, of his vision. Swamiji's vision of liberation of all, or Sarva Mukti, is clearly reflected in the poem he composed on 4th of July, 1898. And most interestingly, he, in the empirical plane, got himself liberated from the bondage of psychophysical frame on 4th of July. In his words, he left the mortal frame like a worn-out garments. You have heard how did Swamiji celebrated 4th of July with his Western followers in Kashmir. In that poem, to the 4th of July, the Bengali translated name of which is Mukti, he explained the nature of freedom not only for him but also for the whole humanity. The whole universe, as it were, is waiting for that special moment of experiencing freedom. Nature, air, rivers, plants, and flowers all are welcoming that precious moment. The dark clouds of ignorance are clearing up, and the freedom as rays of knowledge is liberating sun from the covering of dark clouds to spread its light to everyone. In the last paragraph of that poem, to the 4th of July, Swamiji says, "Move on, O Lord, in thy resistless path, till thy high noon overspread the world, till every land reflects thy light, till men and women with uplifted head behold their shackles broken, and know in springing joy their life renewed." In another place, Swamiji said, "Freedom is the goal. It's freedom alone that is desirable. That is what men struggle after." Hence, we have considered that today, the best day for a spiritual retreat and to commemorate Swami Vivekananda. In the dictionary, we find the meaning of retreat is withdrawing. Withdraw our mind from outside to inside. But why should we withdraw our mind from outside to inside when everything, so many interesting things are outside? Logically, it makes more sense to look outside. Unless we get something more valuable and precious inside. If only we can get something valuable, more precise than outside, then only we turn our vision towards inside. Otherwise, it sounds more logical to look outside. But we should turn our mind to inside because there is more precious thing lying inside. Yes, we have something very precious, incredible, special within each of us. World religions, the great men of the world, and the scriptures of world religions proclaim that what is our within, that is that we really are. Upanishads discovered the wonderful truth that there is within us exists profound dimension which we have to be realized. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutesya Sthitaha. I dwell in the heart of all beings. Jesus Christ also says, if He is inside, I must go search for Him. Buddha's last message to his intimate disciple Ananda was Atmo Deepo Bhava. Light your lamp within. So, in world religions, we find the religious leaders of the world, they say, go within. It signifies that human energy resources are organized in an ascending order of subtlety, immensity, and inwardness. The more we go inward, deeper and deeper, the more we become closer to our energy resources, which is more subtle, more immense. And ultimately, we come across the true self of ours, by tapping which our best, the excellent, will come out. And that is the cause we should go inward. Today, we will try to create a supporting environment which may help us to focus our mind within. Vedic hymns, spiritual songs, enlightening speeches, all these will help us to bring our mind within. Try to utilize it. Make your today a fruitful one. Tomorrow is the sacred Guru Purnima day. Theme of today's retreat is Guru, the spiritual teacher or preceptor. The first session will continue till 1 p.m. The second session will start from 3 p.m. and it will continue till 4 p.m. We missed the opportunity this year to see you all in person. But we know that we are in touch by heart. Once again, I welcome you all with a prayerful heart so that we can experience the real meaning of freedom, the liberation. Thank you.
Let us now mentally offer flowers as Swamiji recites the mantra.
Okay, I shall utter the mantra and you may repeat the mantra and then the volunteers will go and collect the flowers. Let me start, okay? Om स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्म स्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। ओम ऐं एष सचंदन पुष्प बिल्व पत्रांजलि संगाय सावरणाय सशक्तिकाय सपार्षदाय सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्री रामकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। ओम निरंजनम नित्यम अनंत रूप भक्तानुकंपा धृत विग्रहं वै ईशावतारम परमेशमित्यं तं रामकृष्णं शिरसा नमामि। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्ण जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। ओम ऐं ह्रीं एष सचंदन पुष्प बिल्व पत्रांजलि संगाय सावरणाय सशक्तिकाय सपार्षदाय सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपिण्यै श्री शारदा देव्यै परब्रह्मणे नमः। ओम यथार्घ्न दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्व विद्या स्वरूपान्तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। ओम परतत्ते सदालीन रामकृष्ण समाज्ञया यो धर्म स्थापन रतो वीरेशं तं नमाम्यहम्। ओम ऐं एष सचंदन पुष्प बिल्व पत्रांजलि श्रीमत् विवेकानंद नाथाय नमः। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानंद सूरये सच्चित सुख स्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे।
Sumita Chakravarti, a devotee of San Jose House and Vedanta Society, Berkeley, will now render a Sanskrit hymn. Our first speaker this morning is Swami Vedananda, and he'll speak on the topic of Is Initiation Required in Spiritual Life? Swami Vedananda is the Assistant Swami at Vedanta Society of Northern California in San Francisco. He was a disciple of Swami Ashokananda of the San Francisco Center, who was also the founder of this Berkeley Center. Prior to his monastic life, Swami Vedananda, as a student of UC Berkeley, used to frequent Swami Ashokananda's talks. He leads a discussion group at Stanford University for the study of Vedanta philosophy and Sanskrit language.
The subject is initiation required in spiritual life? Which translates to another question: is a spiritual teacher needed in spiritual life? And we know that we need teachers for almost anything. And they say that even to learn some things like if you want to learn how to be a good thief, you have to go to a master who can teach you the art. Also in the animal kingdom, this is also happening. We had a cat at one time at our retreat in Olima that gave birth to some kittens, and the cat was very active in teaching its kittens how to hunt properly and the best modes of behavior that a good cat should adopt. It was interesting to watch how that process went on. So it's generally admitted that some sort of that knowledge is something that is best when it is transmitted, finds its best reception in us when it's transmitted personally from someone who has experience of that, of having that knowledge and being able to use that knowledge. That gives a certain authoritativeness to the teaching, which merely reading about it from literature is not at all the same. Then there's also, in addition to the usefulness, the effectiveness of having the teaching transmitted verbally and transmitted personally from a teacher who is able to practice that particular wisdom, who has actually seen the result of that wisdom. When it is transmitted by such a person, there is a great deal that comes through that is not simply in the domain of instruction or in the technical domain of how to accomplish the particular thing that is being taught. Something else is communicated. To know a thing theoretically is one thing. To know it practically is another. Sri Ramakrishna made a difference between jnana and vijnana. Jnana is knowledge. In this case, he's referring to the knowledge of spirituality. Sri Ramakrishna was referring to the knowledge of God. That a person who has that knowledge is called a jnani. But a person who has used that knowledge and been nourished and inspired and actually illumined, fully illumined by it, has a knowledge or an experience of it that is more profound than a person who simply has acquired the knowledge but has not fully absorbed himself in it or immersed himself into the practice or fully plumbed it to all of its depth. It is, when it's carried to the extreme, it's the salt doll going to measure the depth of the ocean. As soon as as long as the doll is not in the ocean, it knows about salt because it itself is entirely made of salt. So its knowledge of salt is complete in one respect, but when that doll actually becomes merged in the totality of salt, its experience becomes totally different. Of course, when one goes to that point, the knowledge is no longer communicable. But the point is, when a person comes back from that knowledge, having been absorbed in it, while in that knowledge there is communication is no longer possible. One has become that. But a person who has become that, on coming back from that knowledge, is able to instruct in such a way that a person who merely has the theoretical experience of it has not actually plunged to the depth of it. Such a person could not have that depth to communicate it at its maximum effectiveness to others. So it is absolutely essential, if one wants to obtain the ultimate experience of what it is that one is trying to learn, it's absolutely essential that it be communicated directly from someone who actually has that experience or has had that experience. So this is most clearly shown, of course, in the Mundaka Upanishad, which starts by a great householder, a great and effective person of experience in this world, wants to learn the essence, the substance, the fundamental knowledge, the fundamental reality. He has become Mahashala. He has become a great expert in this domain of the world. Now he wants to become equally learned in that which is the foundation, that which underlies the experience. And so he approaches a teacher in order to get instructions in that knowledge. And the teacher starts by explaining that there are two types of knowledge. One is the knowledge of ordinary things, what might be called ordinary things. And the other type of knowledge is that which is the foundation of all ordinary things. That is that which is the foundation of all experience, is understood, is absorbed. So, there are two types of knowledge. And one is the knowledge of all ordinary things. And that is explained in Vedic terms, all the Upanishads, all the sciences that were available at that time. To know all the Vedas, to know all the Vedas is what one could say at this time, the knowledge of all sciences, the knowledge of all activities, of all everything, the maximum that can be attained in this world, is called the lower knowledge. And that, distinguished from that, is what is called the higher knowledge. And that is yaya tad aksharam adhigamyate, that by which the akshara would be that which is indestructible, that which is the knowledge by which that which is indestructible is attained. That is considered the higher knowledge. So a teacher is necessary for every aspect of the lower knowledge, and what to speak of the higher knowledge. That is to say, that the lower knowledge is what is around us all the time. The sciences, the arts, everything that is a part of our, or could be a part of our highest intellectual, psychological, physical experiences. That is all considered the lower knowledge. And for that we need a teacher. So definitely it is even more important that a teacher be approached when one is trying to obtain knowledge of that which is beyond the ordinary experience. And why is it beyond the ordinary experience? Because whatever is the ordinary experience is based on something which is fundamental, which is unchangeable, which is indescribable in ordinary experience. So how is it that one could learn such a thing without approaching someone who can give us guidance as to how to reach it? By the very definition of what this knowledge is, it is impossible to attain it the ordinary way by us looking for it. It has to be taught by someone who has experienced it. Not only that, the method of teaching is extraordinary. All the ordinary methods of teaching, that ordinary, even the study of ordinary sciences, ordinary teachers, even that requires an expert to teach us. Now, this is the science of that which is fundamental to even the ordinary experience. So if the ordinary experience requires a teacher, this certainly cannot be learned without a teacher. And it's not, knowledge is not just an instruction. It actually is something that is communicated in a super verbal way. So maunam vyakhyanam, the teachers described his teaching as in silence. And in that silence, the doubts of the disciple are removed. And that knowledge is transferred in that way. So it is not something, the very process of transferring that knowledge is of an extraordinary kind. The knowledge is extraordinary, the process of transferring is extraordinary. And when one receives that knowledge, the result of it is complete satisfaction. No further expression is necessary. Nothing further is required. Total satisfaction has been reached. So in order to get to this point, it is impossible to do this without having been touched, as Sri Ramakrishna did actually physically touch, and through the touch itself that knowledge is gained.
We now have Sumita ji, along with the chorus group from San Jose House and Vedanta Society, Berkeley, sing the Guru Paduka Stotram, Accompanying them on the tabla is Sonali.
अनंत संसार समुद्र तार नौकायिताभ्यां गुरुभक्तिदाभ्यां वैराग्य साम्राज्य तत्पूजनाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां कवित्ववार्याशिनी शाकराभ्यां दौर्भाग्यदावाङ्कुतमालिक्याभ्यां दूरीकृतानां प्रविपत्तिताभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नताययोः श्रीपतितां समीयो कदाचित् व्याशु दरिद्रवर्या मूकाश्च वाचस्पतितां हिताभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नालीकनिका शपदाहिताभ्यां नानाविमोहादिनिवारिकाभ्यां नमज्जनाभीष्टदतिप्रदाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नृपालिमौली व्रजरत्नकान्ति सरिद्विराज झषकान्यकाभ्यां नृपत्वदाभ्यां नथलोकपङ्क्तिः नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां पापान्धकारार्कपरम्पराभ्यां पापत्रयाहीन्द्रखगेश्वराभ्यां जाड्याब्धिसंशोषणवाणवाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां शमाधिषट्कप्रदवैभवाभ्यां समाधिदान व्रतदीक्षिताभ्यां रामाधवाङ्घ्रि स्थिरभक्तिदाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां स्वार्चापराणामखिलष्टदाभ्यां स्वाहा सहायाक्षधुरधराभ्यां स्वान्ताच्च भावप्रदपूजनाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां कामादिसर्पव्रजगारुडाभ्यां विवेकवैरागनिधिप्रदाभ्यां बोधप्रदाभ्यां कृतमोक्षदाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्यां
The next talk on the theme of Guru is by Swami Prapannananda. The title of his talk is Satchidananda, the Supreme God is the Spiritual Guru. Swami Prapannananda is the minister and teacher of the Vedanta Society of Sacramento. After finishing his academic education at the University of Kolkata, he joined the Ramakrishna order. He is an initiated disciple of Swami Veereswarananda, the 10th president of the Ramakrishna order, and received his monastic vows from him in 1976. Prior to coming here, Swamiji was in Rajkot, Gujarat for over 20 years, where he performed several duties, including temple service, relief and rehabilitation work, publication and book sales, dispensary and library work. He was appointed as minister and teacher of the Vedanta Society of Sacramento in March 1989. Swami regularly gives talks, conducts classes, and grants interviews at the center.
Good afternoon. I thank you very much, especially Vedanta Society of Berkeley and Swami Prasannatmananda for inviting me to your 4th July function. And because of this Zoom, I'm recording this message or this talk that Prasannatma has requested me. Satchidananda is Guru. That means the ultimate reality is Guru. That is the topic that he has chosen for me. So I would like to share with you some of the thoughts about that. You know, we had a verse, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Param, let me see. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwaram, Guru Deva Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So in the verse itself, it is a eulogy to Guru, and in the verse itself at the beginning it is said that Guru is Brahma, Guru is Vishnu, and Guru is Maheshwara. That means these three, they are Guru. But in essence, you know, these three entities are one. That means they are the manifestation of ultimate reality. As you know, Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the preserver, and Maheshwara is the destroyer, or who actually annihilates. And then actually it is said Gurudeva Parabrahma. That means ultimate reality is the real Guru. And we bow down to that Guru. So there is a story in Bhagavatam, and that story illustrates, that means probably there are many other stories, but this story I have come across, and I would like to share with you how Lord Krishna is teaching his disciple Uddhava, saying that I am the ultimate reality. And there is an occasion, so I shall just tell you that story. And I shall follow one translation of Bhagavatam by Kamala Subramanian. That's a very nice and readable. Readable in a sense, that means these stories are in Sanskrit, and Sanskrit of Bhagavatam is very tough. That means it's a little difficult. Bhagavad Gita, you know, part of Mahabharata, it is very easy. That language also very easy from the point of view of Sanskrit. That Bhagavatam language is a little tough. So good translation really helps us. And naturally, those who do not know Sanskrit or do not know Sanskrit to that extent to read in original, for them also it is very helpful. So the story is like this, that once Uddhava said that, well, we all know, that means that we are all intelligent, and we know that sense objects lead us to what is called, takes away the mind from the spirituality. We all these things know, but still we are not able to control that. Why it happens? That means our knowledge is there, but at the same time we are unable to do that. We know that if we can control the senses and the mind will be quiet, and then we shall be able to realize our true self. All those things we, all of us know. That means we are reading these books, listening to the talks, and in that way there is no doubt about that. But still, something is there which actually is dragging us down. That means even if we know, we actually cannot do anything. So in that context, Lord Krishna is saying that yes, that is very true. And in ancient times, this is the story actually. In ancient times, this question came to Brahma also. Brahma means, that means the whom Lord Vishnu, as we know, the story of creation, Lord Vishnu was in what is called, wanted to create, so he first created Brahma. And Brahma in his turn created 4 sons. Sons means, that means all things are mental, that means not physical, mental. Sanak, Sanat Kumar, Sananda, and this, and also another. So in that way, 4 sons were the first sons. And it so happened that when Brahma started teaching him, and when they came to know this world is full of this peril, and by doing spiritual practice, one can realize true self, they said that, well, we are not going to enter into the world, we shall renounce, and they went away to do spiritual practices. But after some time, they returned and asked Brahma that this is happening. So the story is saying Brahma has 4 sons. Lord Krishna is saying to Uddhava, Brahma has 4 sons born of his mind. They are Sanaka brothers, 4 in number. They once went to their father means Brahma, and asked him which was the best yoga to be pursued. They asked, Lord, the mind of man is by nature always eager to follow the dictates of the emotions and indriyas which govern them. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, like that. And these 4 are always capture the intelligence of man and eclipse it. One of the objects of the senses are enjoyed. These enter into the mind of man. That means, what is a mechanism? That means we enjoy something and it enters in the mind, and then it sits there and creates desire to enjoy again. So this is the sequence continually is going. So though we had been engaged in, then he's saying, how then can, once the object of the sense are enjoyed, these enter the mind of man in the form of vasanas, that means desires. How then can a person who is desirous of feeling separate these two? How is one to withdraw the mind from the sense objects? So this question, this is an eternal question. That means we also have this type of problem in our mind. That means our desires drag our mind when actually we are doing meditation or doing anything spiritual. Our desires, knowingly or unknowingly, for some, those who are little advanced, they'll say that it is not really good that the mind is being dragged there. But those who are not that alert, their mind automatically is dragged. They do not know that they are going down. So this is an internal question. And what happened, the Lord Krishna is saying, at that time, Brahma himself was in the state of creating this, what is called cosmos or universe. That means he is responsible for the creation. So he was busy. So in one sense, actually, he was engaged in what is called outside things. So he thought and thought and thought, and he could not really figure out an answer to the questions of these 4 sons. So then he actually, Lord Krishna is saying, then he remembered me. And Lord Krishna, as you know, ultimate reality in the spirit, he is saying, remembered me. And then I actually came in front of them. That means in the form of a swan, as it is called. This is a story. So he came in the form of a swan. So then they asked, who are you? And then actually, Lord Krishna is saying that I explained to them, this is the who am I? And this question is not really valid. That means from what point of view, actually, you are asking, who am I? So he said that everything is Brahman, so these questions does not arise because what you are, I am also same. So in that way, there are 3-4 points he actually taught them, and in that way, they become knowledgeable and things end. The story is little elaborate. That means what are the teachings? That was a important thing. That that was that Lord Krishna wanted to tell Uddhava. But for us, actually, we see that the teacher ultimately is the ultimate reality. That means Lord Krishna is saying that he had to come down at the request or at the remembrance of Brahma to teach. So for Brahma also the teacher is ultimate reality. And since then, the teachings that has come down from Brahma onwards, we call it And they are like this. That means in our scripture, especially in Bhagavatam, this Bhagavatam is a very good story of history. That means spiritual history, if we call it. So there we see that there is a succession of teachers that has come down. So first is the Narayana. Narayana means ultimate reality Vishnu. That means from whom actually the creation started. That means Brahman, ultimate reality. In the creation mood is called Lord Vishnu. That means he is the creator. And he gave the responsibility of creation to Brahma. So the first is first teacher was Narayana, then Brahma. And Brahma actually taught his other sons. It was the first set of sons were there, but there were other set of sons, and one of them was Vasishtha. So he actually got the knowledge from Vasishtha, and then he actually in his turn taught Shaktri, that means another disciple, and Shaktri taught to his disciple Parashara. So Parashara taught to Vyasa. And from Vyasa, it is very clear, that means how Vyasa really taught us. Taught us in a sense, that means he first compiled the Vedas and divided them, get the responsibility of teaching them. Then he compiled the Mahabharata, and Mahabharata, then also these Puranas, and Puranas means Bhagavatam also. So Bhagavatam actually he taught to Sukha. Sukadeva actually learned that, and from Sukha, Sukha of course was learned in all aspects. It is not that the story of Bhagavatam he learned only, but of course there was another student of Vyasa. His name was Ramaharsha. He also learned that. But traditionally, Sukha is the propagator of Bhagavatam, it is said. And Sukha was well versed in all aspects of knowledge, and he actually taught to Gaudapada. And there is no what is called story or history of the successions during this time. Then Gaudapada in his turn, we see he taught to Govindapada. Govindapada, and from there actually we see Shankaracharya. And from Shankaracharya we have come, that means Sureshwaracharya. So 4 disciples were there, Padmapada, Hastamalaka, Trotaka, and Sureshwaracharya. And in that way, Sureshwaracharya was a teacher, or Mathadhish as it is called, in charge of the Sringeri Math. And he, in his turn, taught what is called the other Shankaracharya, that means his disciples. And in that way, it came to Tothapuri in our case, then to Sri Ramakrishna. And from Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, 16 disciples, and Holy Mother, and their disciples. In that way, it is continuing. So the point is that the knowledge as such, though we get from the what is called worldly teachers, but the knowledge as such, the originator of the knowledge is ultimate reality. Without the knowledge given by the ultimate reality, that means what is Lord Vishnu Narayana, actually the knowledge would not have come to us. This is the idea that we have, why the ultimate reality is the Guru. Guru means ultimate Guru. And again, the story is that after creation and all those things, Brahma thought that, well, if I do not teach how to reach God, then the whole creation will be just groping in darkness. That means creation, that means they will be born again, and in that way things will go on. There will be no end to that. That means they will not, nobody will be able to reach God. And also there is another aspect, that means if God does not teach how to reach Him, nobody actually will be knowing about God. That means they will not get the adoration or such other things, worship and all those things. God's different forms of God will not receive that. So he thought that it is important to teach how to reach God, that is moksha. So in that way, the original teacher in the worldly sense is Brahma, who actually taught us, or the knowledge that he has left, which actually we were sharing. This is the one aspect of what is called why ultimate reality, or what is called Satchidananda is the Guru. Now there is another aspect that time to time this teaching is forgotten. And we see Swami Vivekananda has said that, well, when there's a dire necessity, the Lord Krishna, of course, has said there's a dire necessity. Lord himself incarnates as a human being. So in case during the time of Mahabharata, we see that Lord Krishna came and then revived. That means unrighteousness was what is called defeated, and righteousness was established. So he is an avatar. That means he, and not only that, he also taught to those who came to him about spirituality, like Arjuna, then Uddhava, and probably there are other occasions also when he had taught to people about spirituality. So this happens even the knowledge remains, spiritual knowledge remains, which started from that ultimate reality through Brahma, but it declines. And then time to time, Lord himself incarnates as a human being. So it is Lord again actually comes, and in that way he teaches, and then things are revived. So we see the connection is like this. When Lord comes, then again another succession of the teachers come down, and in that way the present teachers are there. In our case, we see Sri Ramakrishna was born, and he had the highest realization. Then he again gathered. The knowledge that he has left are not really new. That means he did not create any knowledge. The knowledge was there, but he emphasized according to the situation and circumstances of the age, what aspect of spiritual practices are very important. That means these are the bane of what is called the present age. That means he used to say kamini kanchana, that means lust and greed. These two are the greatest enemy in the spiritual path in our age. So he pointed out that you will not find these teachings were there during time of Lord Krishna also. You'll find these are there, but their emphasis were different. That means in Rama's time probably there are what is called Ravana time, Ravana, like there are what is called enemies, so they needed to be conquered. So that they are probably Valor and all those things were very important. So in that way, time to time, they have taught according to the situation and circumstances. But the point is that in ancient times, at the time of creation, ultimate reality came down, and also during our time, he is coming down and to teach us. So the knowledge is always coming from ultimate reality. That is why we call that Satchidananda is Guru. All right, I think I was given 15 minutes, and I think this message will be enough for you. And I wish and hope that your 4th July function become a great success. This is a new experiment, virtual celebration. So I wish all success for this function. Thank you very much.
Let's now listen to a song sung by Alok Parna, a devotee of San Jose House and Vedanta Society, Berkeley.
হৃদয় তোমারে
ধাই দশ দিশে পাগলের মতো স্থির আঁখি তুমি মরমে সতত জাগিছ শয়নে স্বপনে রয়েছ নয়নে নয়নে সবাই ছেড়েছে নাই যার কেহ তুমি আছো তার আছে তব স্নেহ নিরাশ্রয় জন পথ যার গেহ সেও আছে তব ভবনে সেও আছে তব ভবনে তুমি ছাড়া কেহ সাথী নাই আর সমুখে অনন্ত জীবন বিস্তার তুমি ছাড়া কেহ সাথী নাই আর সমুখে অনন্ত জীবন বিস্তার কাল পারাবার করিতেছ পার কেহ নাহি জানে কেমনে রয়েছ নয়নে নয়নে জানি শুধু তুমি আছো তাই আছি তুমি প্রাণময় তাই আমি বাঁচি যত পাই তোমায় আরো তত যাচি যত জানি তত জানি নে যত জানি তত জানি নে জানি আমি তোমায় পাবো নিরন্তর লোক লোকান্তরে যুগ যুগান্তর জানি আমি তোমায় পাবো নিরন্তর লোক লোকান্তরে যুগ যুগান্তর তুমি আর আমি মাঝে কেহ নাই কোনো বাধা নাই ভুবনে রয়েছ নয়নে নয়নে নয়ন তোমারে পায় না দেখিতে রয়েছ নয়নে নয়নে নয়ন তোমারে পায় না দেখিতে রয়েছ নয়নে নয়নে
We present yet another talk titled Guru Tradition and Mantra Shakti, and speaking on this topic is Swami Ishtananda. Swami Ishtananda joined the Ramakrishna order in 1976 and received his sannyasa ordination in 1986. While in India, The Swami served in the educational institutions of the Ramakrishna Mission, primarily at the Vidya Mandir College, Belur Mutt, at Cherrapunji, Meghalaya, and along Arunachal Pradesh. In February 2000, Swami Ishtananda was posted to the Vedanta Society of Southern California as Assistant Minister and was responsible for managing the San Diego branch of the society. During the 8 years of his ministry in Southern California, Swami Ishtananda conducted weekly services at the monastery, served as an active member of the interreligious councils, and was invited to address students at various organizations and educational institutions. In December 2007, Swami Ishtananda was posted as the minister and spiritual head of the Vedanta Center of St. Petersburg, Florida, the newest branch of the Ramakrishna Order in North America. The center has shown signs of rapid organic growth under his leadership. As head of this center, the Swami gives lectures and classes at the St. Petersburg, Florida branch, as well as to other devotee groups in various cities in America and abroad.
Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So my pranam to revered Swamis and nuns, especially my respected Swami Prapananandaji. My love and best wishes to all monastic brothers and sisters, and my greetings and namaskar to all the friends there that I am addressing now in the Bay Area mostly. So it would have been a wonderful thing if I could actually physically be there at this very auspicious and important event of the center. But even as they say that sarvanase samutpanne ardham tejati panditaha, when the disaster arrives, then the wise man compromises with half. So we are happy that even with this online platform, we are capable of communicating with each other, talking to each other. So today I have got this subject matter on this special occasion, though it is 4th of July, but the event immediately follows is the very holy auspicious day of Guru Purnima. So my subject matter is given Guru tradition and Mantra Shakti. So I will be talking a little bit on that. First about the Guru tradition. When we look at the Guru tradition, of course, in the Vedic religion, from the most ancient time, we find that this tradition of teacher and taught as Guru and Shishya, it is absolutely important and very, very valuable, powerful and holy bond. But this is not unique to Vedic religion when we look at the other major religions. In fact, there are two different kinds of religions. As we see, some that accept that religion is something that has to be experienced. It is experience-based or experience-oriented. The spirituality, the goal of our spiritual life, living in spiritual life and practicing our spiritual disciplines should end in a spiritual experience also, very exalted state of our spiritual experience, which some other religions they don't believe in. So those who say that religion is only about believing in a certain kind of a dogma and faith is all about it, accepting is all about religion, they really don't accept this Guru tradition. The Guru tradition is very important to those who have spiritual experience in their mind as the goal of their spiritual practices in their life. So we find that among the Sufis, where this spiritual experience is also very, very important in their religious life, they have got their teachers called Sheikh or Murshid or Qutb, and someone who has actually experienced the highest level of illumination or realization in their own form of religious experience. That is also, this Sufi religion is also about love of God, that in Vedic religion, especially in the dualistic religion, we emphasize on. There, they call it Pir, if someone has achieved that goal of achieving the supreme love of God. In the mystic Christianity also we find that there is an important place in the life of a spiritual seeker to have a spiritual director, a father who is actually one-on-one connected with the spiritual seeker, and some kind of a mystic association or communion or oneness is sought with the divine. That famous book that was found in monastery of Mount Athos in the 19th century, where in that Greek Orthodox Church they found the narrative of a pilgrim who did not give his own identity, disclose anything about himself. He finds his spiritual teacher, an enlightened spiritual father who helped him successfully even after his passing away, that teacher, even after his passing away in the mortal form, he continued to help this seeker of truth. He was given this Jesus prayer, and then he continued with this journey. He became a mendicant, and he called himself a pilgrim, a mendicant pilgrim, and his journey came to the successful end, the goal that he was looking to achieve for. So this concept of guru, that is there as we see in other traditions also, but it is very, very important a part in the Vedic religion from a very beginning. All the Upanishads, where we find the most valuable teachings about the supernatural experiences in life, because Vedas are full with many different kinds of teachings. In fact, most part of the Vedas, they talk about the Karma Kanda, area. But the knowledge part of Vedas that we find in Upanishad culminating in teaching us about the supreme experience of realization of the highest truth. There, almost all the Upanishads, they talk about the teacher and the taught, and that is the beginning of the entire teaching. And there we find many different things. We find the tradition. There we are talking about this Guru tradition. We find the tradition that has been taught there in those books of Upanishad. The tradition about who is a Guru, the tradition about who is the suitable student, the tradition about the right kind of mindset of the student. A Guru has to be an illumined soul. The Guru cannot be just any XYZ a teacher. We find in the Upanishad, they separate the two different kinds of education, Paravidya and Aparavidya. All education are not same. And when it comes to this realization of the supreme truth of God, or in non-dual sense the truth of Brahman, which is same as the truth of one's own self, the Atman, then the Guru is one who is himself an illumined soul. Only he can teach the truth of God. And a student also has to be accordingly ready to receive that message or the teaching. Not that everyone is equally prepared for that. That is also very important part that we see in the tradition of our Vedic religion, in which it is not about only the Guru, but it is also about the disciple. A disciple is only a disciple when he or she is fully and absolutely surrenders himself to his teacher so that he could receive the whole teaching and the whole gift of the spiritual wisdom that is coming from the lips of his teacher fully. So this is what we find that is considered very important in the Guru tradition of India. And then after that, this tradition continues throughout the history of India. In the spiritual tradition, we find that there are a long list of this Guru and disciple relationship. There is no end to that. Whenever there is some great spiritual figure, and there is a plethora of them in Indian history, in many different sects, in all the different regions of the country, India has been very successful in producing great spiritual teachers and great spiritual heroes. Those who had successfully completed their spiritual journey to the end of realization of truth in one form or other. The diversity of religion is also there, but at the same time, the story, whichever form of realization of the ultimate truth they found, the story of achieving, realizing the truth, that is very important in their life. But alongside goes this importance and emphasis of their teacher. However great the student might have become, eventually he or she gives all the credit to his guru. That we have found in the life of Swami Vivekananda in our modern time. That whatever success he has gained here in all the works that he has done for both, for this, his own country and also in the West, he gives all the credit to his guru. He says that if anything that is good and valuable that has come out of his mouth is all credited to his guru. So this kind of connection between the student and the guru, that is very important. And that has been a very, very long line of them. So you find the great one like Adi Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya, the dazzling light of his spiritual wisdom that is still shedding enough light for the rest of the world to understand the inner truth of the Upanishadic teachings, that Adi Shankaracharya, he talks all glories and very highly praising his Guru Sri Govindapad. Sri Chaitanya also we find that he had high words and very respectful words for his teachers. Whenever it is a monastic disciple, then usually they have got two gurus. Usually, not necessarily all the time, always. In the case of Sri Chaitanya, we find that he had Ishwar Puri as his guru, just getting the mantra on the Vaishnava religion. And then afterward his monastic guru was Keshav Bharati, another monk. Both of them were monks. And that tradition continues till we find the life story of Sri Ramakrishna, that he had so many different gurus. Because the life of Sri Ramakrishna was very, very different. In the life of Sri Ramakrishna, he had to bring to us a very different kind of light of truth that were not told before. That was the truth about harmony of all religions. So he needed many different gurus. To all of them he was so very indebted. Always he would be speaking of them whenever he would be uttering their name. He will be giving them very high, honorable position. Two of them were most important in his life. One was Bhairavi Brahmani, and the other one was his monastic guru, who taught him the non-dualistic path, the monastic guru Totapuriji. But these gurus, they were very, very important. And they are in the tradition of the Vedic religion that came from time immemorial to us to this day. So Sri Ramakrishna explains to us that what is a guru or who is a guru. Sri Ramakrishna explains that guru is one who removes the ignorance. The darkness of ignorance, remover of that darkness is the guru. So guru is actually not the person. Guru is the instrument or Guru is the medium through which some great and wonderful gift is coming to any disciple. This is the way Sri Ramakrishna has projected the word Guru, or the meaning of Guru he has explained. He says that there is only one Guru. It is Satchidananda. Satchidananda alone is Guru. Like in India, there is a traditional nickname of the moon in the sky as the uncle. So the children are shown the moon by their mothers and told that there is the uncle moon is there up in the sky. It is your uncle. So that uncle is uncle of all. It doesn't matter which generation they are talking about. So similarly, this Guru, in Sri Ramakrishna said that similarly, the Satchidananda is the Guru from generation to generation to generation. It is only Satchidananda who is Guru. Human Guru is not the Guru. Human Guru is the conduit through which the grace and the power of that Satchidananda could reach to the student. It is only Satchidananda who should be at all time understood and accepted as Guru. This is what we find from the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. In fact, he clarified the point. Otherwise, in the name of different human gurus, people have been always fighting. Otherwise, what is the conflict between different kind of religions or different sects within the same religion, or within the same sect between different groups of followers? It is about the infight between the human appearance or the conduit through which the grace of Satchidananda is flowing. So Sri Ramakrishna, who came here to break all those dividing walls and unify all people everywhere under the umbrella of one religion, explaining how God is one, he said that only Satchidananda is Guru. A human Guru, they are not the real Guru, they are only the conduit through which the grace of God is flowing. So grace of God actually comes on earth in many different human forms, and human gurus are those. It depends upon how perfected is that conduit in terms of its purity, in terms of its sinlessness, in terms of its egolessness, that the grace of Satchidananda can freely flow through that conduit. So naturally, the best of the conduit is the avatar. When God incarnates in human form, then that is the finest kind of conduit possible. There we find, though it is a human body, but it is absolutely sinless. It is absolutely free from all small ego. It is absolutely unselfish, and therefore there is no slightest amount of blockage in that flow of the grace of Satchidananda to the person who is waiting on the other side of this conduit. So the avatars the God incarnated in human form, they are the finest and the best possible gurus. They are the gurus of all mankind. This is what our tradition explains to us, that avatars, they are giving us the direct connection between God and us. Sri Ramakrishna explains that the job of the guru is about removing the lower and small ego of the person, of the disciple, through spiritual practices with the help of a divine instrument, that is the spiritual mantra. The individual soul is capable of removing the obstacle. So the guru's job is to remove the obstacle or ignorance from the eyes. So we find that a guru is not a human being, a guru is God alone. And that is the meaning of the mantra that we chanted in the very beginning. Many people not understanding it, and those who don't believe in the guru system, they call it guru cult. This guru tradition becomes something unacceptable. They say, how could you possibly say that my guru is the Brahma and the Vishnu and the Maheshwara and the guru is the Supreme Brahman? Actually, it is not. It is not said like that. It says that he who is the Supreme Brahman, who has appeared in the form of Brahma and Vishnu and Maheshwara in three different aspects of creation, protection and final dissolution of this creation, that is my Guru, and to him I am bowing down to. Now, if that is so, then why we do have any necessity to bow down to the human form of the Guru? This is another question, because those who don't believe in a Guru system, they might say that anybody could just put up a dress of a clergy or a teacher and from the pulpit can preach, and that is enough. Why it is so that somebody is paying so much of a respect and humility towards another being who is another man? Now, in the beginning I explained that the tradition is not everyone can become a guru. Not everyone can become a guru. A guru needs to be a sinless person. There is a whole lot of explanation from the Upanishadic time that explains that a guru is himself a person who has some amount of realization, without which he cannot be the right kind of a conduit of the spiritual kind. Secondly, it is the nature of the heart to love anything that has got something to do with the beloved. It is about connection with the beloved that makes the Guru so very precious and loved one. As in the many different Vaishnava and other dualistic religious books where God is a God of love, or he is loved very, very much, there this is the ground on which my beloved has walked. This is the color of the dress my beloved loves to wear. This is the flute that my beloved loves to play on, like this. So that makes the person ecstatic. Sri Chaitanya famously walked through a village and somebody informed him that the clay of that village was precious because with the help of that the drums coal is made. And Sri Chaitanya became ecstatic because with the help of the coal, the name of the Lord is chanted and sung, and that is what made him ecstatic. So the Guru is one who has connected me with my beloved, with the Lord, and that makes the person all respectful and all loving to his Guru. So this is the concept. Now I go to the next point, which is about the mantra Shakti. The mantra Shakti is that which is another very powerful part of this religious aspect of a spiritually oriented person in Hindu tradition or the Vedic tradition, from the Vedic tradition. So what is a mantra? Mantra is literally it means that which by meditating on which a person will be liberated. Mananat trayate iti mantra. Contemplating on which that which makes a person liberated. So as you know, the entire Vedic religion, the spiritual aspect of it, because Vedic religion has got two different aspects. One is karma kanda or kriya kanda, where many different kinds of rituals and all these things and fire worship and oblations and mantras related to them are there, and that is huge part of it. But the very important part of the Jnana Kanda, the Upanishadic section of it, there the meditation and ultimately aiming at realization of the truth of Brahman is the way to go. Why? Because of the liberation of the soul. That is the goal. The moksha or the liberation is the goal. So this mantra is something that helps to meditate on for the sake of liberation of the soul. This is what is mantra. So these mantras, they are just seen as a group of words or maybe just one word, like the holy mantra, pranava mantra of Om, or they are group of words, a part of a sentence or a sentence, full sentence. So how these words become so important and powerful? We know that the words are very powerful, even in our very secular life. Words are powerful. We know, everyone knows that if the words are appropriately used, then they can work miracles. You can please someone with utilizing right kind of words, or you can anger somebody else and make somebody your enemy outright by the same usage of word in a different way. So words are important, that we very much know, and we are taught about that. And of course the politicians and those in the business world, in advertising, they utilize these words in their favor in a very big way. And we are also aware of those who are known as motivational speakers and psychotherapists and all these things, they use the words and they teach others, they explain to others that how that makes sense, the words that make all the difference. These words, each word they represent some idea. Word is a capsule that carries ideas. Ideas are much more in shape and size, which could be encapsulated in smaller space, and they are words. When we utter some word or transfer it from one person to another person, we are actually capturing some amount of ideas, and they go from one place to another. And those ideas, they accomplish some objective or they are actionable, all ideas. And when ideas, they appear in the form of some objective, then they could become much more valuable. So in the secular life also we see that these words, they are important and they are meaningful. These words, but we are not talking about the secular world. We are talking about the spiritual side of the world. So spiritual side of the world, what are them that are known as mantra? So the mantras are those words in our spiritual life that are capable of carrying out the spiritual objectives or bring to us spiritual experiences. Which are the spiritual objectives? How do they do that? It is done through the intermediary, which is the ideas, to appropriate the ideas properly. The ideas which live in our mental space, in our space of the subtle body, that becomes a very important part of it. On one side, it is mantra. On the other side, it is realization of those experiences, spiritual experiences. In India, it has been always believed that these mantras are very, very powerful and they are capable of bringing out those experiences. And they have been utilized through thousands of years by innumerable number of practitioners. I am saying practitioners because not that everybody tried them in the spiritual sense. They have been tried for secular objectives also to achieve. Supernatural powers and those objectives also were achieved by certain kind of mantras and applied properly. So what is that appropriating the idea area? It is about the purification of our internal self, the mind and the senses, our so-called subtle body, the whole sphere. It is the purification aspect of it that makes the whole spiritual life. The entire spiritual struggle or spiritual practices, the disciplines that are given to us, it is about how we could purify ourselves internally so that the mantras could be actualized in the form of spiritual experiences on the other side. So this is how the mantras they work. This topic was mantra shakti. So these mantras, it is very much possible to achieve them. And it has been used in India from time immemorial. To use this power of the word, those who are known as holy mantras, to achieve the supreme goal of realization of God with the help of the purification of the mind. These mantras, it has been always told to us and it has been always believed that they are not man-made. They are not man-made, it is not created by human being. It is not created by human mind. These are God-given. It is only gifted by God alone, then only it becomes mantra. So mantras are realized truth. Mantras are realized truth of this about the Supreme in one form or other. And those realized truth, they are experienced by the illumined souls in their own spiritual ultimate level of realization of truth, of a certain aspect of the truth, they realize the mantra. So mantra come to an illumined soul in that form. Mantras are seen. Mantras are experienced by someone of that spiritual height. And then from there onwards, it has to be passed on, forwarded from generation to generation through right kind of discipleship. It is a long line of disciples, those who are prepared for that. With preparation, I mean the amount of purification that is required in their own minds and in their own hearts, so that they become the right kind of carrier or the conduit to carry the holy mantra forward for the next generation, for the sake of realization of the same truth. So truth can be seen in many different lights, and truths are actually sought in many different forms. People, they don't necessarily are looking forward to see God in only one way. There are those who are seeking God to be realized in non-dual form, and then there are those who are searching for a particular form of Godhood in a particular name and form. Certain kind of qualification is also associated with it, but it is a divine qualification. For each one of them, to realize each one of them, there are different kinds of mantras available, because they have been invented, they have been experienced and realized by illumined souls. When things come to some level, when the darkness gradually covers up and that truth is not very much visible anymore, then God has to come down on earth in the form of an avatara, and he then reveals the truth once again, as we see in the form of Sri Ramakrishna, as we see in the form of other avatars before him. So this is how the mantras work, that this is a revealed truth, and the truth is handed down in the Guru Parampara. As I mentioned, that this is about the right kind of conduit through which, with least of obstruction, the holiest of the holy ideas in the form of the capsule of words could be transmitted to the next generation, that those words are known as mantra. So this mantra, only a spiritually illumined guru, he can give the mantra. Not a very, very worldly minded person whose mind is very impure and all these things, because then there is a huge blockage in his own mind, in his own area of idea. He is not the right transmitter. It is like transferring the actually burning flame from one torch to another torch to another torch. It is like transferring the live seed of a tree from one ground to another ground to another ground. If it is not live anymore, the seed will not germinate and new plant will not come out from there. If the flame is not burning because of the stick with which the flame was to be transferred, it was too soggy, water, moisture is too much, then the flame will not go forward. So this is also true for the gurus and for the mantras. I wish to the guru of all gurus, the teacher of all teachers, pray to him that let him be kind enough and be gracious enough to bless us all, that we, with the help of the holy mantra that we have received from our respective gurus, we could also achieve the ultimate goal in our life, that is the God realization or self-realization, and thereby achieve the liberation of the soul in this life itself. With this prayer, I conclude my talk here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Here is a well-known song titled The Song of the Sannyasin, written by Swami Vivekananda. This song is sung by Sumita ji and the chorus group with Amitava Ghosh on tabla.
The Sannyasi Giti, or the Song of the Sannyasin, was a poem composed by Swami Vivekananda at the Thousand Island Park, New York, in July 1895. This epic poem by Swami Vivekananda reflects the nature and calling of the sannyasi. Swamiji discusses the concepts, beliefs and ideals of sannyasa or monastic life. The Song of the Sannyasin has been referred to as the Bible of Bengal because it acts as an inspiration, solace and guidance for Hindu monks, especially the monks of the Ramakrishna order.
Next, we have Ruhi recite and discuss a poem entitled Song of the Free, written by Swami Vivekananda.
Hi everyone. We're now going to be examining a very inspirational poem that Swami Vivekananda composed, called The Song of the Free. Swamiji composed this poem on February 15th, 1895, during his time in New York. So let's go ahead and read this poem. The Song of the Free. The wounded snake its hood unfurls, the flame stirred up doth blaze. The desert air resounds the calls of heart-struck lion's rage. The cloud puts forth its deluge strength when lightning cleaves its breast. When the soul is stirred to its inmost depth, great ones unfold their best. Let eyes grow dim and heart grow faint, and friendship fail and love betray. Let fate its 100 horrors send, and clouded darkness block the way. All nature wear one angry frown, to crush you out. Still know, my soul, you are divine. March on and on, nor right nor left, but to the goal. Nor angel I, nor man, nor brute, nor body, mind, nor he, nor she. The books do stop in wonder mute, to tell my nature, I am he. Before the sun, the moon, the earth, before the stars or comets free, before even time has had its birth, I was, I am, and I will be. The beauteous earth, the glorious sun, the calm sweet moon, the spangled sky, causation's law do make them run. They live in bonds they die. And mind its mantle, dreamy night, cast over them all and holds them fast. In warp and woof of thought are set, earth, hells, and heaven, or worst or best. No, these are but the outer crust, all space and time, all effect, cause. I am beyond all sense, all thought, the witness of the universe. Not two, nor many, his but one, and thus in me, all me's I have. I cannot hate, I cannot shun, myself from me, I can but love. From dreams awake, from bonds be free. Be not afraid, this mystery. My shadow cannot frighten me. Know once for all that I am he. Swami Vivekananda. So this is clearly a very carefully written and complex poem. Let's now dive a little bit deeper and determine what exactly each stanza of the poem means. Starting off with the first two stanzas, Swami Vivekananda has used metaphors here of a wounded snake unfurling its hood, a rising flame, an echoing sound of the thrilling roar of a lion in the desert, and lightning in the heart of clouds. All of these depict the awakening of the dormant spiritual power of human beings. What this tells you is that human beings are the best versions of themselves when the hidden power of the soul has been awakened. In the third and fourth stanzas, Swamiji highlights the challenges, problems, and difficulties of life. The world and nature may go against us, creating hardships and challenges. Our fate may be extremely unfavorable, and we may face darkness and despair everywhere. We may experience failure in friendship and betrayal and love. Nature may try to crush us and destroy us, but we must not give up, and we must not become weak and defeated. In other words, we possess divine nature, and therefore nothing can defeat us. We need to march ahead without getting distracted to reach our ultimate goal. Now in the fifth and sixth stanzas, Swamiji enlightens the reader about our true nature. We are not angels, men, or even animals. We are not body and mind. We are beyond the concept of gender as male and female. In essence, the knowledge found in books or literature fails to explain our true nature. We are actually one with the ultimate reality, and this is pure spirit and pure energy. The 7th and 8th stanzas speak about the eternal existence of the soul. Before the birth of the earth, moon, and sun, and before time came into existence, I, as the pure spirit existed, I still am existing, and I will eternally exist. Materialistic entities like the sun, moon, and earth are governed by the law of causation. They are limited and restricted by the principles of cause and effect. On the other hand, the spirit is beyond everything. The mind, with its power of imagination, thoughts, and ideas, creates a net to cover everything. Consequently, this also means that the mind creates distortion and falsely produces ideas like heaven and hell, which respectfully represent the best and the worst. Finally, the 9th, 10th, and 11th stanzas depict the following concepts. Space and time, and the law of cause and effect. All of these are external appearances. In other words, an outer crust. The reality and truth is the spirit, which is beyond all senses and thoughts. The spirit cannot be seen or observed. It is the observer or witness of the universe. This spirit is not two nor many. It is essentially one because the truth is one. Everything exists in one and the same spirit because the spirit is everywhere. In one soul, all the souls are integrated. It is all one and thus cannot be divided nor separated. Therefore, Swamiji says, everything is in me and I am in everything. There is no scope for separate existence and no scope for hatred and rejection. There is only one positive force of love and only love. With this reasoning, Swamiji urges the reader to wake up from the dream of false appearances, break the chain of bondage, and become free in the true sense. He advocates that the material world is only the mysterious shadow of reality, and the actual spirit is pure spirit and pure energy. Therefore, we shouldn't be afraid of anything, and rather, we should be bold and fearless, because you are one with the ultimate truth. So, as you can see, Swami Vivekananda wrote this powerful poem to depict the true nature of human beings. Man is beyond body, mind, and intellect. The essence of the human being is one indomitable spirit, which has infinite dimension and eternal existence. The spirit is omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. Swamiji urges readers to not be afraid of the problems, difficulties, and challenges of life. These are the tests of life that make us strong and confident. Therefore, we should march ahead fearlessly to achieve our goals without getting distracted and disturbed. Swamiji then goes on to present a very clear picture of this pure spirit. Spirit is immortal and eternal. It is not limited by the law of causality. It cannot be observed and explained by the human mind and intellect. Bookish knowledge fails to explain this ultimate reality. Next, Swamiji reasons that the earth, moon, sun, stars, and comets are created. They are governed by the principles of cause and effect, space and time. However, spirit is beyond everything. It is the eternal observer of the creation. It cannot be created, nor can be destroyed. Spirit has infinite dimension, and this ultimate truth is only one. Therefore, there is no scope for duality and multiplicity. There is no scope for hatred and jealousy. There is only one powerful force, and it is universal love and harmony. From this, Swamiji argues that we need to know our true nature. Once we know who we really are, all problems, difficulties, hatred, jealousy, weakness, and cowardice will disappear. Our hearts will become full of courage, love, bliss, and peace. So this poem is very significant in today's world, where we find hatred and jealousy, greed, selfishness, and hypocrisy playing vital roles to divide and destroy human civilization. For the preservation of the human race and the beautiful creation of Mother Nature, the message of spirituality presented in this powerful poem by Swami Vivekananda can not only act as an influential instrument, but also cultivate an atmosphere for nurturing universal brotherhood, love, and peace. Thank you.
Here is another song by Sumita ji. Dear devotees and well-wishers, we hope you're enjoying this July 4th spiritual retreat. Due to the COVID-19 global pandemic and indefinite lockdown, 2020 is a unique year for all of us. All of us had to adjust to this new normal, and it has also given us time for more spiritual reflection. We at Vedanta Society Berkeley and San Jose House have also adjusted to this new normal, as is evident in this July 4th online retreat activity. We are working hard to continue with our spiritual and community events as best as we can. We thank you all for participating in our various events. We are striving very hard to be in your hearts at this time. This year is particularly challenging for our society from a financial aspect. It has affected our limited finances greatly. As you would know, our fund collection opportunities have gone down this year. We hope you will keep us in mind at this difficult time and contribute your normal donations electronically on our website, or send us your donation checks to Vedanta Society Berkeley by mail. Our mailing address is on the website. We appreciate every contribution as usual. Also, please visit our website and browse through the bookstore. You may find various Vedanta books of interest. Books are a great way to spend time now. Thank you once again for your support. This concludes our morning session of the retreat. We'll take a break now and resume the retreat at 3 p.m. with more talks and the rest of the program. Please join us at 3 p.m. Namaste.